What's good, my two viewers, whoever they may be? What's good? What's good? Instagram is currently experiencing a platform-wide issue with some Instagram bullshitting right now. What's good, support? Man, I did not know BMF was taking a break this week. I had no idea. So that's another thing. They do not market BMF like they do Power. Because, I mean, I understand that I don't pay like closely attention to it like I do Power, but I should have at least, what's up, DeMarcus? I should have at least seen that they was taking a break. Yeah, BMF is very, very mid. I agree with you. But like, I should have heard about that. That's kind of crazy to me. But yeah, I'm trying to give folks time. Make sure if y'all in here right now, you hit the like. I'm trying to give folks a little bit of a time to get up in here. I knew BMF was on the break this week. Of course, you knew, DeMarcus. You be paying attention to every damn day. But like, I damn sure didn't. Starting to think 50 trying to get BMF canceled for real. You think so, bro? I thought. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought 50 and Meech ended their beef. The shot was good this episode. I still don't watch it, but yeah. I'm still on the screen. Make sure y'all hit that like though, so we can get more people up in there. I think everybody. I ain't got nobody up in here. So y'all like though, so we can get more people. All right. Here go the BMF. Nigga, you know that shit trash. Stop it. Well, it ain't trash this season. It's mid. But anyways. So I wish I could have, market this a little better so that I could have had a bigger crowd for the first time of me doing this. But basically, what y'all see the title now. What this is going to be is once I get a consistent flow, I'm going to start to try to see if I can do this about every day. If not every day, every other day. So basically, what the cinematic corrections is basically we're gonna get a scenario from not just Power. I'm gonna add other shows into it too. Like I'm gonna add Snowfall. I like Reasonable Doubt, and I see a lot of folks like the show. I would have to watch it to catch up, but I mean maybe I'll do that. Pretty much all of the great, dramas, crime dramas and stuff like that. I'll insert them, put in a scene that was like key to the series, and we discuss it and give a situation like basically what if, almost like the Power Reloaded thing, but it's like something I do live and we have live discussion on it. Eventually I'll have a panel on here to do it together. So for today's topics, I got Ghost and Tasha. red sneakers. And the reason why most of this is based on season 1 of Power is because that's what I've been watching as of recent. But we're gonna be dealing with Ghost and Tasha, red sneakers, because red sneakers was going ham in season 1. We're gonna deal with Juke, Unalived, and Raina. Because for those of y'all that may not know, Raina originally was supposed to have been taken out by Jukebox. But unfortunately, the actress that plays Jukebox had another role on something, and her character had to be taken out. So she wasn't able to do it. So they switched it to Ray Ray. So we're going to discuss what if, she was around to do it, and how that would have changed the dynamic. And lastly, I decided just to give us a going out scenario. What if Zeke lived in Power Book 2 Ghost? And y'all absolutely feel free to give new topics. Like I'll write them down. So when we do another one, I'll put that in the discussion. But you say it's funny that support game in 2006 don't want Ghost to come back. However, want Brandon from the Shy to come back. Very hypocritical. Well, I can't really say who Brandon is like that, so I wouldn't really know. What if Tommy faked his death again? And well, yeah, that could absolutely be a scenario but that would be more so of a future one. This one right here, I mean, I can do future ones too, but I'm more so dealing with scenes that already happened, but we're changing the dynamic of it. But yeah, we can do future ones too. Ghost was shot in the heart by his kid. Brandon death was never shown. Hey, he got a point on that. If his death was never shown, that is different. Anyways, though, we're gonna go ahead and start it up. We're gonna be diving into the scene to the life of Ghost and Tasha. Basically, we're gonna be talking about how things could have changed simply if, what I'm saying, simply if Tasha would have at least one decided we're gonna go with her deciding to go with his dream, or and the Angela dynamic. Because to me, both of those is pretty key. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up that video. I actually got the video here for that. Let me try to find that. No, I got it up in here. Yeah, that one I got the video. So of course this is the clip.
When we met, what you think I was gonna be?
The biggest goddamn drug dealer in New York City.
You never thought about more.
What more? You talking about the club as more? I saw the money you made last night.
So pretty much y'all get I'm pretty sure y'all get the scene now. Everybody that's in here pretty much is hardcore Power fan. Y'all know exactly what scene I'm talking about. So this here was the beginning of the end to the downfall of, Ghost and Tasha. Now, a lot of fans have speculated, and I would say this is more so of the women Power fans that love to say this, that say Ghost would have cheated anyway, even if Tasha decided to go with his dream. But I'm not so sure about that, and I'd love to get y'all opinions on it. If right here when Ghost was pitching to her, and keep in mind he tried twice. This isn't the only time he spoke to her. He also made another attempt when he was telling her he don't know any old wrinkled drug dealers. They're either dead or inside. And he was saying this club can be the dream, right? But Tasha was still not not giving in. She was so fixated on the drug empire lifestyle that she had. What's good, Marcus? Welcome to the live. We trying something new right now. If you keep watching, you'll catch on to what we're doing. So pretty much, she was so fascinated by that lifestyle that she didn't want to give up giving a legit side of things, which would have been absolutely better because you could have still been making in a good amount of money while doing it legally and not having law enforcement on your back as well as rival, drug dealers coming to try to take what's yours. So in this situation, so the question on here for the people that's in the chat is if Tasha would have went with Ghost Dream originally when he made those two attempts to try to, convince her, let's just do the club business and try to go legit. Would that have saved the family? Would Ghost would have looked the other way? Let's say Angela Steele came into the club. They had an interaction, but he decided to, would he have decided to just let it go and be like, it's good to see you, Angela. I got a wife and kids and let it alone, or would he have still found an excuse to go with Angela? I'm very curious to see what y'all got to say about that. What's good, Hezekiah? I know it's been a minute, but we're about to start getting these lives, these videos back going consistently. If she would have went along with Ghost Dream to leave, it would have made a huge difference. I think so too, bro. I really wish we had more women chat people in the chat right now, because I know that's them the ones that's gonna give me the heavy pushback. I think most of the guys probably gonna agree that Ghost wouldn't have made the moves he made if she would have been on board with him. But I can tell you another thing that would have happened. Give you a different scenario. So let's just say Tasha did get on board with Ghost. She decided that, well, that's what my husband want to do. That's what we do. How would this have affected Tommy as well? Because keep in mind, Tommy still wanted to be in the game. So now, not only is Ghost, wanting to make a change and to go legit, now Tasha shares that vision with him. So will Ghost and Tasha been able to later convince Tommy, or would they have maybe went their separate ways because Tommy too tied to the streets? Could you see Drago, Jason Mitchell, right hand and Power Legacy? That's a good question, DeMarcus. I actually forgot about that dude. I mean, I wouldn't put it past it because like he is obviously still alive. He's part of the Russian crew, and then who knows, the Russians might still have, especially since he later on killed what's her name? He unalived Milan's. I don't know if that was his wife or his girlfriend, but you know who I'm talking about. What's her name? Tatiana. He unalived her in force, so perhaps Drago will seek revenge later on and come after him. I can see that because, in my opinion, I think Tommy absolutely will fall in Power Legacy. I don't think he's going any further than that. My prediction is Power Legacy will last 4 to 5 seasons, and in the last season, Tommy will be out of here. So For some odd reason, I don't think so. I think he still would have met with. There we go. Hey, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I might be a tad bit biased. You know what I'm saying? Towards the ghost being loyal to her, but I don't know, bro. Because I mean, he did really like Angela. So I think it is. I'm gonna give it a 60-40. And actually, to be honest with you, maybe the 60 would be him going to Angela. But still, it absolutely would have changed it a little bit. Like I don't think he would have just said, fuck that bitch like he did to her ultimately because she just, didn't want to see the vision. Like DeMarcus said, F Tasha. I want to say he would have kept Tasha, but I think that him just seeing Angela made him scroll down memory lane. Okay. What if it was the opposite? What if Tasha wanted Ghost to lead the game and he liked staying in? Damn. Damn. Hey, that's a good one, support. Shit. Let's focus on it a little bit. So what if the topic is right now, y'all, is what if Tasha wanted to get out of the game? Let's say she was like, look, I think it's better for the kids so that we can be protected. Like you brilliant. You got it with this club stuff. I think we can do it this way. But Ghost is like, no, the money is good. I'm good at this, Me and Tommy got everything on lock. I think if that would have happened, eventually Tasha would have left him. Like the same thing that we seen her do with Terry Silver and Sean. Eventually, she would have did that if Ghost decided he wanted to stay in the game and she wanted out. She would have found a way to try to sneak out with the kids, or maybe initiate a divorce, and then try to find her escape route. Now, would she have succeeded in that? Probably not. Because here's the thing: if that was a dynamic, do you think Ghost could find himself a way to take Tasha out? Like, say she tried to leave with the kids because he wanted to stay in the game and she didn't. Would Ghost have ultimately took her out? I think that's a good. Because I think that would be on the table if if that situation would have played out like that. Tasha should have told Angela that she was married to. I'm glad you said that, DeMarcus, because I'm about to get into that very shortly. Because I agree with you 100%. Tommy was always going to choose the streets. Facts. I agree with that. Forrest made it seem like Merjovich was the actual leader. Right. That is true. But I still think Drago would stay in there, would stay in there. Hezekiah, if you want, bro, I can bring you on the panel too. Or and anybody else that that I'm cool with that wants to come up, because I think it's always better when we discussing it live. So if you want to come up, I can bring you up. I know DeMarcus and support y'all don't normally want to, but if you decide you want to, you can come up. I'll drop the link for my people that I'm used to. Um, how different the power story would be if it went the original route and had Tariq in the game already, knowing Ghost was a drug lord. That would be. I'm gonna put that in there for a future discussion, but that is good. That's a good one, support. I don't want to get too, what I'm saying, off topic, but yeah, that's absolutely a good one for us to have in another discussion. Tasha got to go empower Legacy to push Tariq's storyline forward. Hey, we said that about Book 2 Ghosts, and she's still here. But I do agree with you, though. Yes, sir, Smoothie. We about to be back in there in full effect, man. You can't be biased towards James. I'm not being biased. I'm trying to change it. I do think we would have been weighing the pros and cons between both. Hell, knowing him to probably would have tried to have a polyamorous relationship. Yep, I can see him trying to pull that shit out for sure. I can absolutely see him trying to pull that shit out. And nigga have Ghost and nigga have Tasha and Angela. Hey, that's the best of both worlds. Hey, I commend him for that. Actually, hey, here go the link. My bad. I actually put in the wrong thing last time, but this is the link. That's the link for anybody that want to come up. Only the ones that I'm familiar with. I think Ghost's whole plan was to give the business back to Kanan when he got out. Just Tommy and Tasha were not wanting to go legit, and Kanan getting out early changed things. That's actually a good one too, Hezekiah. You know, I should add that to it. Ghost handing Kanan over the business. People can't be biased towards trash ass Tariq either. What If Power Origin shows that young Ghost was similar to Dre from Boys in the Hood. He lived with his mama first, then moved to live with his pops for acting bad and raised become a better man. Hey, that would actually be cool support, and you know that would help my theory of Lulu being his daddy. So I'm with it. But anyways, though, I'm gonna go ahead and transition over to the other point that we just made. So, also, and I think I'm gonna pull this up because I was actually just watching that, looking at it. I'm past that. Well, I'm at. Share my screen real quick. So, back to the part where DeMarcus was.
I don't remember that dress.
Well, I don't remember that suit either, Uptown.
Oh,
What
doing
have you
this
been up to,
scene
Jamie?
here.
What have you been doing all these years?
Boss, the new DJ's gonna start.
Wait, did he just call you boss?
I'm gonna do some little pause action because you know how YouTube, they love hating. Matter of fact, let me just pop in some of my stuff so they can just leave me alone with all that hating they be doing. Give me a second. Time my camera on. Yeah, my hair out right now, ugly ass niggas. Don't y'all say that. There we go. Damn, my internet's shitty right now. Damn. Anyways, back to it.
I own this place. Kanto said he needs to talk to you now. All right. Sorry, I gotta.
You got a nightclub to run. I get it.
Right here, the Tasha already.
Starts in a few minutes, and I'm.
Yeah, like why would you be this sneaky around? My opinion.
I'll call you.
And I'm gonna tell y'all why. It's a little bit unrealistic because it's unrealistic because most black women that I know, especially that's from the hood, would have approached her ass. Like they would have just sat there, especially when you got a man like that. You know what I'm saying? A provider, strong, the nigga top of the game and stuff like that. Especially hood niggas, like he the top of the food chain of hood niggas, and you the top of the food chain of you know hood females. They ain't finna be just sitting there and watch no girl potentially take her man. Like she would have approached her, be like, "Hey, what's this?" Flashed her ring on her, and that would have changed the entire dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Of how Angela seen this thing. Now y'all can correct me if y'all disagree, but in my opinion, the type of woman that it seemed like Angela was, that if Tasha would have approached her right there in front of her and let her know where she stand, and she would have been like, "Look, that's my man, this my husband," and stuff like that. Who are you? And you know, let her know. I think Angela would have backed out. She could have even potentially stopped him before he even got her number. Now as the type of guy Ghost is, if he really wanted to reach out to her, he would have found her, of course. But I'm just saying it definitely would have changed things. Angela would have been giving Ghost a lot of pushback, but like you got a wife, like she knows about it, she ain't with it. So that's to me, that was another major factor in the fall of the Ghost and Tasha relationship. Tasha made a huge mistake just standing around watching this shit when you could have just intervened. So y'all can let me know what are y'all thoughts on that. But I always felt that way when it came to that situation. Let me see, catch up on some of these comments I missed. Lou not Ghost father, cool. Trey really fought that dude over being called African. Imagine if Raising Canaan took out James St. Patrick's father. Oh, RSK's. Not that you were saying that short for Raising Canaan, but yeah. I mean, I can't see him being cool with the RSKs like that if that was the case. I don't know. But I mean, that would be crazy. I can see that Kanan paid them off to do it to get closer to Ghost. Okay. So basically what you're saying, Hezekiah, is that Ghost paid Kanan paid the RSKs to go after Ghost's father to kind of flip him. It would be karma if this exact same event happened to Tariq. Absolutely. I think that Jukebox could have manipulated James Ghost St. Patrick and Tommy to take out Breeze because she wasn't fond of Breeze. I don't know. I want to say, I don't know. Jukebox I kind of want to think Jukebox may not even been in the picture during that time. But who knows? Tasha acted like a white. Yeah, exactly. They had Tasha acting like a white woman right there. A white woman would have probably sat there, especially let's say if the girl that her man was talking to was a black woman and she was a little afraid. Yeah, maybe a white woman would have did that. But the type of woman that they were portraying Tasha to be, I just can't see her, sitting there and letting that shit happen like that. Ain't no woman, especially black, not gonna sit there. She definitely would have come over like, who the F is this? Exactly. She would have been like Joy. She would have been like Joy from Friday on his ass. Shit. Who the fuck is that? Would have pulled up just like that on his ass. And would have scared Angela ass out. And Tasha would have been in the right to show the F out at that moment. Right. You got to protect what's yours. Here's the thing. Angela knew in the real story Ghost was married and still wanted the nigga. What are you talking about, nigga? All right. So that is our first topic. I mean, we can get a couple more follow up questions on this and shit like that. But I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. If everybody else is done with the Tasha and Ghost situation, we're about to transitioning over to Pink Sneakers and the damage she did in this first season. And of course, this is a huge hypothetical because obviously the storyline is about Ghost. And if Ghost was the guy taken out this early, it would have changed everything. But anyways, so let's go ahead and transition over to Pink Sneakers. Now, as we know, matter of fact, what does anybody know what Pink Sneakers? If anybody know, maybe DeMarcus does. What was Pink Sneakers' real, like, what was her name on the show? Because I only know her as Pink Sneakers. But anyways, she took out your boy Annabelle. She took out she damn near took out Juliana. She tried to take out that other dude. I forgot his name. That she was chasing with the gun. She shot Holly while trying to shoot Ghost. She was turning up that first season. She stabbed Ruiz. But here is the golden topic of discussion. This right here, where she's pointing the gun inside of Club 2. What if she actually shot an unalived Ghost right here in this scene? How would the Power storyline have played out if she was successful here? You said Pink Sneakers should have been Angela because she looked better. Yeah, Pink Sneakers was nice looking. But maybe it was the acting style, though. I mean, it's more than just the looks. Maybe she didn't have that charisma they was looking for it. They said, I think, didn't they? I think, who did they say won for the role of Angela as well? Was it? Oh yeah, Blanca Rodriguez. She went for the role of Angela, but ended up getting cast as Blanca. But anyways, imagine if Pink Sneakers would have taken out Angela in Miami. That would have that would have changed a lot of shit. I would say if that happened, Ghost absolutely would have hunted her down and took her out. But that would have been what would have ended up happening is I think Ghost ultimately would have went back to Tasha. And, Tariq never would have turned out to be the way he got turned out, maybe. Because, even if Kanan tried to flip him, I don't think Kanan would have been as successful if, his parents were still together. Pink Sneakers is what Effie in book 2 should have been. Why Effie's so useless. His name was Buzo, or however you spell it. Brazo. Yeah, it was Brazo or something like that. I get you. Yeah, I remember him. Kanan would have been happy. Pink Sneakers' name was Marilla? Really? Well, there y'all have it, people. I'm pretty sure the rest of y'all didn't know that either. But anyways, y'all still, the topic at hand is how would the storyline have played out? I'll go ahead and share mine if she was successful with this. So if she would have took out Ghost, Tommy, first and foremost, Tommy would have went ape shit. Like Tommy would have went berserk trying to find out who did it. He would have found that bitch dead. And he would have canceled Christmas, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, New Year's Eve. He would cancel everything on her head, her whole family. Like Tommy would have absolutely have guided them. Like I have no doubts in my mind. Tommy, Julio, of course Tasha would have been in on it too. Would have gotten together and they would have hunted her down and found her. So that would have led Tasha to be a single mother now, a widow. And it also, but keep in mind, that was part of Kanan's original plan. So let's just say it did play out like that. And now Kanan is out of jail. Now he looked like he's showing up as just the guy that he's gonna be remorseful. Like, dang man, G taken out. He would have played it. He would have played it nice with Tommy. Learned the system because Tommy probably wouldn't have figured it out that Kanan was the one behind all those hits. Me personally, just don't see Kanan finding out about that. And keep in mind, Roller's already gone. Because I could see maybe if this would have happened and Roller was still alive, it seemed like Roller was kind of on the smarter side. Because keep this in mind, when Ghost took out Roller already knew that it was Kanan responsible for the reason he was there and pointed him in towards his direction. So that lets me know Roller was kind of strategic and he was able to calculate things like that. So, but the thing is, Roller was gone. So I don't think nobody else in the organization was smart enough, except maybe Tasha. Tasha maybe would have figured it out too, and she would have had to convince Tommy that it was Kanan. So the question is, with all of that I just said, what do you think Kanan would have been able to be successful with getting out of prison and then later on, learning the business from Tommy and clip his cracker ass and run the whole thing? Those are his words. A quote from Kanan Stark himself. But now that Ghost's alive, he would have been at war with Tommy within a week. I think he said it within a week. But anyways, do y'all think Kanan would have been successful if she was successful at taking him out right here, and would have been able to successfully take over the business and become Lobo's new distributor, or would it have played out differently? What if Kanan would have knew who Angela was and kidnapped her to get Ghost's head? That's another good topic for another one. Because that is a play he could have done. Because I swear you're the only one that would have known Pink Sneakers. I swear he's the only one that knows that name. That woman in the background saw Pink Sneakers pull out her gun and didn't say nothing. That's because she background, nigga. She can't say that. But right, in a real scenario, she probably would have started screaming. If Pink Sneakers killed Ghost, then Tasha would have had to come clean about setting up Kanan, and Tommy damn near wiped out half of Miami. Because I actually like side characters because the side characters move the storyline forward. Okay. What if Sean had listened to Ghost's advice and left New York? That's a good one, support. For real. I got to write that down, too. That's a good one. And, his life would have been spared. The thing is would Tasha have actually went with her? But that's going to be another discussion. I'm not going to try to squeeze that one into this live. But that's actually a really good one. Roller figured it out. Roller probably knew Ghost set up Kanan in the first place. It's possible. Maybe Roller did know that. I would have loved if Pink Sneakers would have taken out Liliana. Why? I think it would have played out different, to be honest. Lobos didn't like Tommy, so I doubt Kanan would have been able to get close to Lobos at that point. That is true, as a guy, because but at the same time, let's be real. I think the reason why he didn't like Lobos, I mean he didn't like Tommy, is because Tommy wasn't smart like that. Like Tommy was too emotional. He fed up his emotions too much. So I think if he would have Kanan would have approached him, Kanan would have came to him with a plan. Like he wouldn't have just came empty handed. He would have had a whole layout of how things would have worked. Because keep in mind, Kanan is the one that taught, along with Breeze, of course. Now we have yet to see what Breeze taught Ghost and Tommy. But along with Breeze, Kanan is the one who taught Ghost what he knows. So he's smart enough to be able to maybe possibly work with Lobo. So I think that's possible. But I don't know with him showing up so fast after, and I don't know, y'all. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like, at least in y'all opinion, if you disagree, but it seems like to me that Lobos seems like to be the type that rewards loyalty. Like he's kind of like he liked Ghost because you remember when Ruiz tried to make a pitch to him, he said no to him. And with that being said, and let's say Lobo saw that Kanan did some shady shit in order to try to take over, Lobos may would have flipped the script on him and took him out because he felt like he couldn't trust him. Because remember what he said, the moment he detect disloyalty, he cut it out like a cancer. Now, Jason Mitchell, on the other hand, he's grimy like that. Because when, Kanan made a play behind Tommy's back, he didn't give a damn. Kanan and Pink Sneakers. Hold up. Kanan and Pink Sneakers is more dangerous than Tommy and Liliana. Huh. Is that? I don't know about that. That's up for debate. Tasha was texting Sean and getting her bags ready while Sean went to get back Kanan, to give back Kanan his gun. Yeah, she was getting her bags packed, sure. But the thing is a lot of times women may think they want something, and then later on she missed their lifestyle. She may would have came back. I mean, just say it. It's like Ghost told her. I mean, you can go off with Sean and live on the salary of a high school basketball coach. Now let's be real. The type of girl that Tasha was, she wouldn't last long with that. She would have been eventually be like, look, Sean, I can't do this shit. She would have left his ass. I guarantee you. She would have had, it would have been cool for maybe 3 months at the most. And she would have went and found somebody else. Or tried to go back to Ghost. One of the two would have happened. Claudia would have never taken out Pink Sneakers. Why are we bringing up Claudia? I'm confused. What I missed? With all of this, we didn't even mention Dre's role in Kanan's whole plan in the first place. Well, the reason why I didn't mention Dre is because this is kind of more so dealing with season 1. And Dre wasn't in season 1. Like Pink Sneakers didn't last very long in season 2. But yeah, because I don't think that would have been part of his. Let me see. Would I think? I guess so. That probably still would have been the same plan. So, if that was the case, I mean, yeah. I mean, I think it still would have stayed the same. Dre probably would have been his right hand man, and Kanan would have tried to make a play. But eventually, I think if that was the play out, eventually Dre would have tried to, you know, Dre would have tried to take out Kanan because he's ambitious and he would have got tired of the type of moves that Kanan was doing. Always trying to boss him around and all this shit. He would eventually try to make a play on him. I think Breeze will be the combination of Ghost and Tommy. Got book smart and swag like Ghost, ready to crash out and get wild like Tommy. I actually think you hitting it right on the nail. Support. I think that's exactly what his character is going to be like, judging by just the little short clip that we got of Breeze. I think that will be how he's going to be. I agree. Lobos would be suspicious of Kanan as he was of Tommy telling Ghost things like Tommy is holding you back. Yeah, I think it's a possibility Lobos wouldn't have went with his plan like that. But I don't know. It would have been very interesting to see that. Yeah, exactly. Jason only cared about the money. Lobos actually cared, about relationships to a degree, I think. Pink Sneakers is the Puerto Rican Monet. I don't know if I can see that comparison, but okay. Is a reason Ghost ain't leave Tasha no money, leave Tasha no money, and that's exactly why. He knew how she was. Hey, we're gonna have another topic. I think that'll make a good one because I might say something that y'all might not disagree with. Who knows? I might slide that in if we have time on this on here. So, all right. So back to it. Back to the comments. Tasha did a lot of shit that played in detriment part to the story, like messing with Sean in the first place, and if she didn't involve Tariq into taking out Kanan, diving him deeper into the streets. Yeah, Tasha she definitely did some damage, but the part that we kind of discussed was what basically was the cause of the fall of their relationship and their marriage. Their marriage was already done pretty much about time, she used Tariq to take out Kanan. Imagine this in the real story. We know Tariq never found out about Tasha and Sean. What if Raina found out about Sean and Tasha and she hated Tasha while Tariq hated Ghost? Hey, you own one right tonight, support. Cause that would be good too. That would be very interesting. I guess I'll slide. You know what? I'm gonna actually slide that into the next topic because the next topic is talking about Juke taking out Raina. All right. I only brought up Dre because he kind of was the reason that Kanan even was about to get close to Lobos. Yeah, but keep in mind though, that's only because they had to go another route because Ghost was still alive. If Ghost was already dead, then he would have been able to easily probably play Tommy and get close to Lobos because Tommy would have been next in line, and Tommy more than likely would have just brought Kanan to Lobos. would have introduced him as his number, his number two, and brought him along, and then Kanan would have executed his plan. Well, Ghost told Angela early in the show that him and Tasha marriage been going south before Angela entered the picture. Yeah, true, Hezekiah, and that's something that I thought about as well. But I will say this: it's probably not nothing that was so big that he actually would have, you know, went went through with trying to get rid of her. If probably some of the reasons that he was talking about, that they marriage was falling apart was her being money hungry and only focused on the drug game, not seeing the bigger picture. I'm pretty sure a lot of what he was talking about was that. So if she would have just played along and decided to, hey, let's just do this, legit stuff, maybe that would have changed things. Hopefully in Origins we get to see what actually was the start of that. Absolutely, they better show us that. I'm pretty sure they will, but they better. Like if they don't, I'm gonna be very disappointed. Hey, it's crazy that you bring up Grandma Estelle, DeMarcus, because see, that's another topic I was talking about earlier, maybe earlier today or yesterday with somebody. My girl actually. That Tasha messed up by not listening to her mom. Because she had the right idea. And it goes to say that, a lot of times how single women's best friends, when you married or in a serious relationship, having single best friends is always, uh, you know, it always gonna turn out bad because, well, not always, but most of the time, because a lot of the times they're gonna be giving you a terrible advice. Like for instance, BMF right now. What's the mom's name on BMF? Lucia. Lucia right now, the reason why she pawned her wedding ring, trying to get Charles out of the house and all that bull crap, is because she got a so-called friend that's in her ear right now telling her, to get rid of him. And pretty much Lakeisha was doing the same thing with Tasha. But Grandma Estelle was like, nah, you ain't gonna, more than likely, you ain't gonna find nobody like Ghost again. So you need to be trying to make your marriage work. So what, the nigga cheated and stuff. Like, he looks like he wants to come back home. You need to be trying to make that shit work with him. But nope. She was so in her feelings. She was talking about, I'm gonna get even. And then she later on figured out he always wins. But anyways, what if Tariq shooting Ghost would have made more sense and justifiable if Ghost actually abused Tasha, or in season 5 snapped on Tariq and told him he wished he died instead of Raina? That would have helped it for sure, because I still to this day think that the writing, the story development of that character of Tariq wasn't strong enough to have him want his father dead by the end of the season. Like, they definitely didn't write that good enough. All right, so if Pink Sneakers actually killed Ruiz, who do you think Kanan would have had to replace him to run Lobo's business? Hmm. To okay. So you're saying if Kanan's out now and he needs somebody to take over the Soldados, right? I mean, Pancho just would have been next in line. Because I'm pretty sure he just would have, inherited the throne after that. And then Pancho, Kanan probably would have found out that Pancho was the one that's the next in line. He just would have made an alliance with him. Estelle is Lucille, cousin in BMF. Really? I don't even remember that shit. Raising Kanan seems to fix that story with Kanan and Rock. At least we see why Kanan hates Rock. Facts. They did a good job at doing it. But Power, they definitely dropped the bag. They fumbled the bag hard on Tariq and Ghost. Have you seen the leak of Kanan shooting Rock? Yes, I have, and I'm actually gonna address that in another video. Probably do that video maybe before I go to bed tonight, if not early tomorrow sometime, and put it out there. But yeah, I definitely seen it, and it looks like, judging by that leak, that I was right. And y'all little ugly ass niggas owe me an apology. Anyways, though, let's go ahead and move to the next topic. And the next topic is, what if it was Juke instead of Ray right here? As you see, Ray took out Raina outside of, their school dance because Raina approached Ray telling him to leave Tariq alone or Ghost, her father, is going to unalive him. And of course, he was like, we're going to see about that, and popped her right there. So for those of y'all that's not familiar, Courtney Kemp told us that originally the person that's supposed to took out Raina was supposed to have been Juke instead of Raina. So if this actually did turn out to be Jukebox, how would this story have played out? Because to my knowledge, I don't think she gave us what would have been the details of, how the storyline was going to play out if it was her. But I think that would have been very interesting if it turned out to be Jukebox. So opening it up to, discussion, what would have happened if it turned out to be Juke? Because, that could have potentially started, because let's say, because how would Kanan have felt about this? Would Kanan have came to avenge his cousin? Because absolutely, Ghost and Tommy would have went after Juke. That would have happened. So if let's say they were successful and they took out Juke, would Kanan retaliate? Keep in mind, he had love for Tariq. But at the same time, that is his blood. And like he said in the Raising Kanan, when nobody closer to him than Juke. So how would that have played out? Yeah, because his plan was to take out Ghost organization piece by piece, survive and change them some shit. True. Tasha would have confronted you. You think Tasha would have confronted you? All right, so let's go with what you said, Hezekiah. Let's just say Tasha did confront Juke. Do you really think Tasha had what it takes to take on Juke? I don't think she did. I think if she would have approached her on her own, who would have been smoking on that Tasha pack? Because Juke wouldn't have played with her. I don't like Tasha's savvy, she's smart, but she ain't got that gangster in her like Jukebox did. Why are you trashing Tariq right now? We ain't even talk about that nigga. If Jukebox had shot Raina, Tariq would have still had to catch her first body. Hell, maybe Kanan would have you said maybe, hold on, because something popped up. Kanan would have helped him. So you think Kanan maybe would have possibly helped Tariq take out Juke? I don't know. But Tariq probably would have tried to avenge him avenge her still. I agree with that. The question is, would she have still been successful? Because in my opinion, I think Jukebox would have been more alert and aware than Ray Ray was. Like Ray Ray kind of underestimated Tariq. And keep in mind, Ray Ray didn't know Tariq like Jukebox did. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. See, Jukebox knew Ghost. So she would have known that, okay, this is Ghost's son. Ghost is I watched that boy grow up. I know who he is. So his son probably ain't too far away from it. You know how they say the apple don't fall too far from the tree. So she probably would have been like, nah, I ain't about to play with that little nigga. I got to take his ass out. So I don't know if Tariq would have been successful at taking out Juke the way he was able to get Ray Ray. But keep in mind though, he was only able to sneak up on Ray Ray because Dre helped him. But Dre, see, Jukebox wouldn't have trusted Dre like that. My opinion. Then again, Tommy and Ghost would have tortured Jukebox. Absolutely. I think they definitely would have tortured that. Jukebox probably would have shot Tasha at least once after unaliving Raina. Tasha would have killed Juke. Now, I do think he would have wanted blood if Tasha took out Juke. Mm. Me personally, I just don't think Tasha would have won that. I mean, I get it. Can't underestimate a mother, but I don't know, bro. Tasha just ain't got that gangster in her like that. I think with the jukebox scenario, it would have been written differently. She would have killed Raina doing a kidnapping, like she tried to ransom Tariq. Yeah, I do. I absolutely think the death would have been different for sure. Absolutely. But I still think, it would have been the same outcome. Ghost and Tommy and Tasha would have came after her. If Tasha would have tried to do it herself, I don't know, bro. I just can't see her getting the drop on Juke and taking her out. She would have needed Ghost and Tommy help. Ghost and Tommy was afraid of Jukebox, so they would not have tortured Juke. Yeah, they was afraid of her, but keep in mind they just lost a son and a nephew. That would have got all that fear out of their head. Shit, they was afraid of Jason, but they still took him out. Just saying. And Milan. And Lobos. Uh, so, but yeah, with that being said, absolutely, I think this scene here definitely would have played out differently. I don't know if Kanan would have took her. I don't think Kanan would have took her out. I think the reason why he took her out there, it was the heat of the moment because she wasn't, being reasoned. She couldn't be reasoned with right here. But keep in mind, this never would have happened if because they saying Juke took out Raina, right? Supposed to took out Raina. So that means this scene right here didn't supposed to happen. So I think it also would have been safe to say that probably the ransom of Tariq wouldn't have happened either. The death of Raina probably would have happened first. I would have been very, very interesting to see that script, to see how that would have played out. Because, I can't see them her kidnapping Tariq if, she's supposed to ended up taking out Raina. But y'all can let me know what y'all think here. So you said you think Gold's supposed to have been in jail when Raina was taken out. Okay, now that would have been interesting, for sure. Because Ghost wouldn't have been able to do nothing about it, and it would have just been Tommy going after her, along with Tasha, I suppose. And keep this in mind, Julio is already gone, so he wouldn't have had Julio on his side because Julio was being taken out while, Tommy was in Chicago. So no Julio. Dre is around, but keep in mind, Dre has already been flipped by Kanan, so I don't know how that would have turned out. I would say the X factor here would be how Kanan felt about this. Like, would he have sided with, Tommy and Tasha, and of course Tariq as well, because Tariq would have wanted revenge. Because keep in mind, you just killed the innocent child. I mean, it's even as hideous as Kanan is. Do y'all think Kanan is ignorant enough to take out a child like that? I mean, he took out a grandma, but what about a child? I mean, he killed his own son, but at least he was an adult. Okay, so let's hold on. Got some comments. Jukebox was supposed to outlast Kanan if she would have stayed in OG Power. Really? Okay, so I didn't see that, DeMarcus. But if that was the case, then cool. If that was the case, then damn. So maybe Kanan would have because Kanan got taken out in season 5. So you telling me Jukebox would have supposed to made it to season 6? I don't see how that would have played out. Unless Kanan supposed to originally got taken out in season 4 or something. But let me know, is that something that was confirmed by Courtney or someone, or is that what you're speculating? Maybe Jukebox would have kidnapped both Raina and Tariq. Ghost and Kanan still show up, and they save Tariq, but don't get to Raina. Oh, shit. That would have been crazy. Damn. Yeah, that would have really hurt. I think that would have hurt even more than, them finding out about her being dead, because, he would have been right there and saw her possibly die. So let's go ahead and go with that real quick. Let's go ahead and go with what you said, Support. So if that's the case, do we still get this outcome with she successfully take out Raina, and maybe she don't make it to Tariq in time, because after Kanan seeing her take out Raina, he like, oh, that's foul. That's foul, bitch. I'm about to take you out for that. So he pops her because of that. But I'm still curious of what the market said that Jukebox supposed to have outlasted Kanan. That's interesting. Shit, fear would make you do a lot of things, some unreal, unpredictable facts. I grew up with an old head that always told me a scared man to kill you, and I agree with that 100%. The ones that, they afraid of you, they got their gun in their hand, they'll just shoot out of fear. So that's absolutely the truth. Okay, I want to say Tommy and Tasha may have come up with a plan to take her out. I'm with you on not being able to see Tasha take her out by herself. Yeah. Yeah, because Juke was, bro, keep in mind, especially since we got more of a backstory in Raising Kanan, not only is Jukebox a gangster, Jukebox is military and police trained. So she's very, you know, she's very military mind when it comes to this type of things. So I just can't see nobody like Tasha being able to get her. The only reason why Kanan was able to get her like that because she just simply didn't see it coming because they were so close. She didn't think her cousin would do that to her. So I think that she just miscalculated right there. But somebody like Tasha, she wouldn't have been able to get her. Ghost, St. Patrick, and Tommy didn't torture anyone. What are you talking about, dude? They absolutely tortured people. I mean, they didn't. I mean, did we see them do it? Well, hold on. We seen them torture. What's his name? The head of the Todos Locos, Uriel. We watched them. They tortured Uriel. They made him torture him bad, but they did torture him. They tortured in the very first episode. They tortured Miguel. They were planning on torturing Hugo. The only reason why they didn't torture Hugo is because Tommy lost his cool and took him out right there. So Ghost and Tommy absolutely torture people. Ghost should have Tariq from the jump do that time. And I will get you out early. Just tell this little nigga man up and take the rap for his family. Now he in book 2 thinking he the man. I mean, that's off topic, but I do agree with you. Tommy literally set him other effort on fire just to get information. Well, I think what he was saying to support is that Ghost and Tommy never tortured anyone together, but that's not true as well. Kanan would have shot Tariq if he didn't say he hated Ghost. Well, absolutely. Oh, so you're saying take it out, kids. You right. You right. Crazy, I didn't even think of that, but you're right. 100% correct, support. Yeah, he absolutely is willing to take out a kid. The man is hell. And support. Let's not forget that he was about to throw Dre's what looked like to be maybe 7, 8, 10 years old at the they gave him 10. 8 years old at the most, I would say. Your old daughter of Dre, he was about to throw her out the window. So yeah, he definitely willing to take out a kid. The mind ignorant. I'm talking about together, Ghost and Tom. Yeah, I knew that's what you meant. But they still tortured somebody together before. He was about to put Reek brains on the wall. Oh yeah, together not. They did though. They did. They tortured Uriel for sure, and they low key tortured Miguel. And like I said, they was gonna torture Hugo. The only reason why they didn't is because Tommy lost his cool. Kanan should have shot Tariq when he in the police car after setting K up, but plot armor for Tariq, or because this nigga loved Tariq as his own son, as he said, I wish you was my son. I mean, I would have I don't know if I want to say I would have loved to see him have shot him right there. But I think it was his love for Tariq. And not only that, also him keeping his promise that saying he'll never do no grime and shit like that to him. Because remember that same episode when Tariq was talking to him about killing his son, he was like, don't worry, I'll never do no grime and shit like that to you. So he probably thought about that and decided to let him go. Thinking of that moment pissed me off. No cap. This nigga had hid while his little sister stepped up. Kind of hard to not think on that shit when he got all these niggas killed, yet be so forgiving in book two. Well, I'm gonna say this a little bit of in defense of Tariq. Raina did step up for sure, but let's be real. I don't think Raina knew what she was dealing with. She didn't know that Ray Ray was, you know, was gangster enough to just shoot her right then and there. And I think if she did, she would have, moved differently. But see, Tariq knew that she was that Ray Ray was like that. Now he still shouldn't have sat there and let her do that by herself, possibly because he kind of should have known that he may would have did something to Raina. But I mean, think about it. He was a 13-year-old boy. The man was scared. Kanan killing Jukebox for seeing her to kill Raina in front of him. Ghost and Tariq would have made him killing justifiable. Because from what we know of now in book 3, Kanan killing her made no sense. Yeah. I think season 5 and Origins gonna give us more of a story of how they fell off, and maybe just see what it is that really made them do that. Tommy burnt someone alive. Ghost beat the F out of SB with and wait. If that's not torture, I don't know. But yeah, a lot more. Dre daughter was probably like no more than 5. Yeah, that's what I said. She was young as hell. When Pop killed Crystal in that house, it made me think back to when Kanan almost popped Tariq. Can we, I guess you meant now say this, who he learned it from? It is similar. I mean, possibly. But I mean, I guess somebody would have to tell that story to Kanan to know that's exactly how that happened. Yeah, they definitely did torture him with the nail gun. Exactly. Why every time people bring up Raina died, and they always say Tariq a coward for hiding? What was he got to do with those? Right, support. That's why I say I'm gonna defend Tariq a little bit right there. Like he is a 13-year-old boy that was unarmed versus a dirty cop that is willing to shoot. Maybe he was thinking like since that's somebody that's innocent that Ray Ray really don't know, he might not do nothing to her. He probably didn't think he would just shoot her like that. They act like she sent Raina to die on purpose. They just don't like that little nigga. Kanan killing Jukebox make no sense to me. Why say they just say jail? I'm a little confused on that last comment. I would say him taking Juke out made a little sense to me. I think he kind of would like just snapped because if you pay attention, he was kind of trying to get Juke to calm down, but she wasn't listening. Because like you remember when she was like, "This little nigga is not who he say he is," and he was like, "Juke." And he was trying to talk to her to calm her down, but she wouldn't listen to him. And the fact that she was still going on with going through what she wanted to do instead of listening to him, I think he just kind of snapped a little bit and just shot her. Because if you pay attention to his reaction after he shot her, it's like he was a little bit remorseful. He was like, "Dang, bro, I can't believe I just did that." And then he was about to shoot Ghost, and he saw Tariq, and he was like, I'll let the nigga go. So it made sense to me. because it was more so he just snapped and shot her, almost like it was an accident. They say that because she died protecting him. Now to his defense, I do think he showed his face. He was just gonna kill both of them. Facts. More than likely, he was definitely gonna because he would be leaving a witness. So yeah, he absolutely would have just took both of them out. Imagine if Jukebox smoked Tariq instead of Raina. I would have loved to see that. Tariq. But the book two ghost storyline would have been so trash, dude. But what were they gonna do? Make a story out of Raina? Absolutely not. Right. Fucking bitch always running your mouth. Boy. Uh I just noticed I'm still sharing this shit. Now I guess we'll go ahead and transition over to the final topic of the night. And that final topic. Hey, look okay. Crap. I ain't seen that thing came out yet. What was it FP Valley? All right, y'all bear with me real quick. Trying to pull up this thing real quick. Here we go. All right, my bad for that little quick break. Anyways, though, last topic of the night. What if your boy Zeke lived and made it to the NBA? What would have been the outcome of the Tejada family? How would y'all have seen all of this play out if Zeke actually lived? Now, I know what I think. If Ray clipped both of them, then he would have had a clean getaway. Possibly, but I think the way Ghost and Tommy and them was, they would have found out who did it. They would have found a way to find out. Because keep in mind, they probably would have eventually went to Canaan, to get some information. Keep in mind, Kanan still, I don't know. It would have been tough, but I can see them maybe have finding out some kind of way. His family would have still gotten him killed. That's what you think? But the whole topic is, what if he didn't get killed? Cain should have been Mecca's son instead of Zeke. Zeke should have been Monet's actual nephew, and make to play ball and break his leg like Sean. Well, the whole scenario though here is, what if Zeke lived though? So I'm gonna go ahead and start it off. I think if Zeke would have lived, he probably would have found a way. He could have found a way to get to the league. If he was actually as good as they were portraying him to be, he would have found a way to get to the league. And Monet would have absolutely stuck close by him. And I think it's possible that they would have left the game. The only thing is, how would it have played out with Lorenzo? Would would Lorenzo have won after them? I mean, I can't see Lorenzo taking Zeke out or nothing like that purposely, but he would have definitely fought for his family. But I think Monet's direction, Monet may still be living if Zeke was still living, because she would have just stuck close by him and tried, like she was talking about, living off him. Because keep in mind, she wanted to have an exit. Like, Zeke was always her exit. So she was similar to Ghost in a little bit. She had an exit plan. It just backfired, obviously, once Zeke was taken out the picture. Kane, let's see. I love to think outside of the box. I think you were referring to the Tariq comment. Now, actually, you were on to something with Kane and finding out. Ray Ray was actually gonna go to DC, and that would have raised a red flag to Kane. And then finding out Reek and Brains was dead is another flag. Right? Yeah, I think Kanan could have put 2 and 2 together with that. And then once he put 2 and 2 together, Ghost and Tommy would have, went to Kanan, and they would have compared notes, figured it out, and they would have went and took out Ray Ray. So either way, his ass cooked. Zeke not knowing his actual age would never not be funny. Like, how you don't know you 23. I get not knowing about Monet being his mom, but come on. Yeah, you gotta be a dumbass nigga to not know that you 4 years older than you think you are. Like, maybe a year, possibly even 2, but 4 years, nigga, you dumb as hell. Imagine. Hey, I always had this joke about Zeke, bruh. Every time that nigga birthday coming around, Monet lying to this nigga about his age. nigga, let's say she started lying to him about time he was 3. His birthday coming around. Happy birthday to you. It's just like, and then how the part of the song when they like, how old are you? And he like, 4. No, baby, you 3. You 3. I'm 3, auntie? Yeah, you 3. Oh, okay. I'm 3 then. Then his 5th birthday come back. How old are you? 4. Oh, 4 now, right, auntie? Right? No, you 3, baby. Remember you was 2 last year. She keep telling that nigga that shit. Until 4 years passed, then you finally 4. Bro, that shit funny as hell, bro. How you dumb enough to not know? How are you dumb enough to not know that you highest 4 whole years? Were you in a coma or something, nigga? Were you hibernating? How the hell 4 years passed? And you didn't notice you were older yet. You dumb as hell. Hey, Zeke got to be the dumbest nigga in the Power universe, bro. Mega should have been a recurring antagonist and a real threat, not a snitch and a simp. I mean, yeah, absolutely. He was definitely the best villain of Book 2 Ghost, for sure. They could have kept him around and made a better story. Big Country being a Mr. Take It would have made them get caught. But you are right, support. They had that nigga trapped in the closet with R. Kelly. Hold on, what are we talking about right now? Because I'm confused. This ain't my birthday. It's the wrong year. Say my birthday. It's the wrong year. The nigga dumb as hell, man. Hey, Zeke. Hey, R.I.P. to our boy Zeke, though, man. Zeke was a good character, bro. Even though he was dumb as hell. Big Guap. Hey, I'm not sure. Did they say or not? Did Big Guap die? I don't know. What if the job with Tariq Brains and Big Country, actually went smooth? If Big Country wasn't a pervert, or if Tariq left when they told him. You know what, bro? That would have changed everything. That's a great one, dude. Yeah, that would be a great one because it would change the dynamic of everything. First off, Raina definitely wouldn't have been killed because they wouldn't have had Ray wouldn't have had a reason to be looking for them, looking for them. So yeah, that would change a lot of things. The trap in the closet comment was about Zeke. We saw a photo of Big Guap and he was already dead. Lorenzo said Big Guap took a bullet for him. He did say that. I forgot about it, but yeah, he did say that. Okay. My other comment was about Reek and Ray Ray. Support is right. If Big Country was being touched, I'm guessing, wasn't being touchy and Reek left the scene, they would have got away and Raina was still. Yep, that is true. How could this glad nigga want to get freaky with the little white girl? Hey man, what the fuck? Get off her. You worry about the loot. Man, wait his head. But yeah, so back on this Zeke topic. Let's say Zeke made it to the league. Would the children have followed Monet and went with her plan to go with Zeke? Or do y'all think some of them would have decided to go with their own path and maybe go with their dad, Lorenzo? How do y'all see that playing out? Lil Guap. Now, Lil Guap ain't the dumbest. Zeke is the dumbest. But Lil Guap was dumb as hell. Like, bro, you really about to do that at a crime scene? At least did it. Right, the man that is here, bro. That was dumb as shit. Most definitely. What if in book 2 Ghost, instead of Carter's wife Denise, instead of being a sister, was the white woman, Brains and Big Country robbed and killed? Well, remember I did a video on that. But that would be crazy. And it would have been cool because, it would have given us the backstory of why Carter, had a grudge against Tariq. But it would have been more so towards Tariq, not really Ghost. Because, Carter seemed like he kind of had a grudge against Ghost as well. Like he actually knew him and knew some things about him that he kind of still almost on his I haven't forgot what you did last summer type shit. Speaking of that for those of y'all that's familiar with the haven't forgotten what you did last summer franchise, the new one's coming out tomorrow? Oh no, it come out today. Today's the 18th. Yeah, come out today. I think Diana would have followed her, but not Drew. We know Kane wasn't involved in the plan. Yeah, because during that time, Kane was doing his own thing. So more than but Kane was a mama's boy. So Kane probably, probably would have went with Monet. I mean, he messed with his dad, but he was a mama's boy. So I can't see Kane separating from his mama. So I think he's going to go. He would have followed them as well. Maybe he would have worked security for Zeke or some shit like that. But yeah, he definitely would have followed. Now, Drew, on the other hand, probably would have stayed loyal to his dad, maybe. I'm going to see that movie. You going to see it? Yeah. Yeah, I got to go see that too, bro, for sure. I wonder if Don Carter arrested Kanan when Ghost and Tasha set up Kanan. I remember you saying that. That would be crazy, but I mean, why would he have a grudge against Ghost because of that? I would say it probably got to be something bigger. Ghost may have took his girl back in the day or something. But let's see, we've been going on for like an hour 40 now. I'll probably go for like maybe 10, 15 more minutes. So we can have our little closing remarks. But yeah, this is something that I would like to do. Obviously, I would love for the audience to be a lot bigger than this. But of course, how YouTube operate, when you go a while on not being on the channel, they start submitting your numbers, dropping your numbers so folks won't see it, like they won't draw the traffic. So people will come in there. But yeah, this is definitely something I want to start doing. And like I said, I think it'll be better with a panel. So I'm gonna start recruiting more people that wants to do this more so. Particularly people that got, channels, their own channels, maybe even if your channel's smaller and you want to kind of build up your audience and stuff, I think it'd be something nice to do. Because with the consistency and stuff like that, it'll help grow your channel. Lil Guap should have went out protecting Kane or Drew like Big Guap died protecting Lorenzo. Well, low key, he did go out protecting them. Just they was the one who took his ass out. I mean, he had their back. What if Carter's wife was killed during the Trenton beef? Damn, now that's something I never thought about, bro. And that could be a good possibility because that the Trenton beef is something that we really don't know nothing about. We just heard of it. We really don't know much details or anything. So yeah, that could be it. Because they said she was killed, trying to take out like, because she was like a EMT or something like that, and she had him on. She had somebody on a stretcher or whatever, and retaliating gang members came by and I think sprayed up the person that I guess trying to finish the job or whatever. So yeah, maybe during the Trenton beef, um, she got caught up in the crossfire. But that would be like years and years ago, though, right? Like that would be at least doing everything. I would say that's got to be like at least 15 probably years ago. You think Don Carter would be still moaning his wife the way he's doing 15 years later? It probably was a little bit more recent, maybe. And it's possible maybe Ghost and Tommy had nothing to do with directly, at least I'll say that. Maybe indirectly they did, but directly anything to do with the death of his wife. But maybe like something that an ongoing war that they may have had with someone ended up being the results of it, possibly. But don't you think Carter would have went after Ghost and Tommy way before if that was the case? Because the type of dude he is, he absolutely would have targeted them and tried to go after them. So maybe he just didn't like them for something that they did back in the day. That's how I feel. It would make more sense at least. Get ready for the DeMarcus character in BMF, Team DeMarcus. Nigga, what the hell? Whoever he is, I'm pretty sure he trash. Hold on. Is DeMarcus the character that Tyler Lipley is playing? What if Unique lives to modern power era and he's in a mental hospital for life and he's screaming F Rock to this day? That would be funny, but I would say if he does live to see modern day, which in my opinion I don't think he will, but if he do, I think he would have eventually found out that he was wrong about all the things that he thought with Rob. And I can see a situation where, throughout her death, he figured out like, dang, she actually was down for me and I effed it up. So yeah, that's how I would see it going out. And then he gets maybe ultimately taken out by somebody else, maybe I can see him maybe getting taken out trying to protect Kane and her son or some shit like that because of, he's sorry about, how he did her when he figures out the truth. Yeah, he would have. Yeah, he would have. He knows him and Ghost probably had a peace treaty, and that's why Ghost was so adamant on moving out of the radar. So yeah, okay. So that's Tyler Lipley's character. I mean, I guess that's gonna be a little interesting. I think I heard people saying that they think he's gonna be Lala's new love interest. Nah, I don't think Unique's too unstable to admit he's wrong. I don't. Because he's admitted that he's wrong about stuff before. For instance, he told what's his name, Phil Russo, that he was wrong about the situation with um what's the first mob boss name? Shit. For New Jersey. But y'all know who I'm talking about. He said he was wrong about that situation. So you need to admit when he's wrong about something. DeMarcus is dating LaWanda in BML. Stop the hate. Oh, okay. So it's Yeah, that's what I heard. Hey, ain't nobody hating. If that shit went so damn trash, I would pay closer attention. But yeah. So he's LaWanda. Damn. This nigga Terry taking them L's, boy. So he about to lose LaWanda and Marquisha. Cause Boom back. Hey, Boom wasn't playing no games, boy. That shit was just funny to me. The nigga didn't waste no time. Like as soon as he got out, the nigga bent her over. Like the man said, "Hey, we ain't about to play around at all, bro. You know, go ahead and get in that position." But and I think it was extra funny to me because I actually know the guy that plays him, Peyton. I actually know him personally, so it was just so funny to me to see him do that thing. Right, Sal. So Unique admitted that Sal, was right about that situation with how to handle. Unique got to go in season 5. I mean, I think it is a possibility he will. Terry been getting hands put on him all season. Joe have. But now he was winning against Boone though. I mean, Boone gave him some licks, but like he actually won that. Now, what's the Mexican dude name? Uh, Loco. Loco was giving him them hands, and of course, Meech was giving him them hands. Still seeing comments on other videos saying that Unique is gonna take out Branford and they need to let that shit go. Because they know they get there where the niggas is saying their support is just trolling at this point. Because there's no way they actually believe that shit. Branford Frady is Breeze. No question about it. And there's no way you bringing nobody like Shamik Moore to have him killed by Unique in a short period of time and take over his name. There's no freaking way. But yeah, Loco was giving that boy them hands. Meech had intervened with that because he about to serve his ass. But the acting on that just too bad for me. Like BMF, bro, the acting be so mid, bro, particularly with Meech. Like that niggas, he be just going in and out with his acting. Sometimes he all right, and sometimes you be like, bro, what the hell's going on? Probably fair play people. Bro, I ain't been looking at other folks' content in a minute. Like I looked at movie bot stuff, not that long ago, but still not too much. And I ain't looked at Getting There How I Live in months. Probably since I stopped coming on my channel. So I got to start catching up to see what everybody else been saying. But Team DeMarcus, and I hope DeMarcus team up with Lamar and Bone. That'll be funny. So is DeMarcus character, if you know DeMarcus, is Tyler Liberty's character a gangster on there, or is he just a good guy? Someone said Branford was an undercover cop on one video. That's crazy. That is crazy. Who the hell said that? These niggas gotta be stopped. You said Charles Carey in another season. Low key, he is, bro. Because I was thinking Lamar was gonna be a lot more heavy in the season, but like that nigga barely been in it. But I'm guessing these last couple episodes, they might switch it up. Hopefully. Okay, so he is in the streets. That's gonna be interesting. Look forward to. I mean, I'm kind of a fan of Tyler Lipley's work. So yeah, I look forward to seeing what he got. But anyways, though, you folks, I'm about to go ahead and wrap this whole thing up. Like usual, appreciate everybody that stopped through. You know what? I still haven't watched Squid Games, the new season yet, y'all. And I'm about to go ahead and start that. So anybody in here that's Squid Games fans, what do y'all think of it? What's the last season good? Because I still haven't watched it yet, but I think I'm about to go ahead and start it as soon as I get off this live. Ghost returns in Power Legacy. He following Tariq behind the scenes. That's the shit Fair Play will be saying right now, I bet. But yeah, though, like I said, though, be on the lookout. I'm gonna show, like I said, these type of lives. I'm gonna definitely be doing these more often once I develop a consistent panel. I'm gonna start doing these with a panel. Like Hezekiah, if you free and stuff like that, I love to have you on. And of course, I ain't heard from Buckets in a while, probably because I've been gone for so long. But if y'all, if y'all been seeing him on other platforms and stuff, let him know that I'm interested in bringing him on for it too. But yeah, big shout out to everybody that stopped through. Last comments, because I'm about to go to jump up off here probably in 2 to 3 minutes. People who Branford is, I'm guessing you meant people who said Branford is an undercover cop is no different than support game saying bring back Brandon and Tasha. I guess you're saying that it's not gonna happen. I'll reach out to him. He's been in contact on. Yeah. Let him know that that that's something new that I want to start up on, and to reach out to me if he interested. Because I think this would be a lot better if we had like a panel of like um at least 5 to 6 people to negotiate it and on different scenarios and shit. What's this? Damn, them folks sent that shit to him. Damn, that's crazy. So the company didn't pay for it. That's crazy. Unique and Branford will both go by Breeze. Stop it. Just Just like Breeze was a mythical character, mythological character. But yeah, but yeah, like I said though, shout out to everybody. I'm about to go ahead and tune out. Everybody have a good night's rest, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the next live, which is probably gonna be like Sunday, and I actually mean it this time. I'm gonna jump on Sunday. But yeah, until next time, people.